Hey, it's Victoria, and you are now listening to the Pass Rush Podcast with your host, DJ Clennon.
Whew. That one was tough. That was hard to watch. Just what Oregon did to Colorado is that was tough because after an ass whooping like that, you take a nap. So I took a nap, and I still think Colorado's a really good football team. I really support Deion, everything that he's doing. I support the message. I support every single thing that he's doing. I am just 100% on board. But to compete with Oregon, USC, UCLA, Washington, teams of that nature, you have to have dogs up front that really change the game. They can control the line of scrimmage. And all year so far for Colorado, they have not controlled the line of scrimmage at all, not once. They've been at the mercy of the offensive line or defensive line play at the other teams, that they're playing. Against the Colorado State Rams, they let Kamara do whatever he wanted to do. And the man's going to the NFL. He's great. I enjoyed everything I seen from him, especially as a former pass rusher. I mean, come on now. Like, what he did was incredible. But if you want to compete, you gotta be doing the same thing with Colorado. And their best player doing it right now is number 44, and he's great. I think he's getting a lot of attention, getting a lot of eyes. Like, you might look at him as a sleeper, like if you're watching the games, you're like, hey, this guy might not have been on my radar, but he's on my radar now. Like, he's standing out a little bit. So I like what he's doing. Just the problem is that there's not much happening, on the sides of him. It's really, the teams are just shifting the protection to him, and they're just like, okay, we have our running back block him, chip him as well, and we got all the time in the world. You need more dogs up front. Shiloh has been the force on the defense. And it's okay sometimes that your safety is the force, okay? Not an issue. But your linebackers need to be your tone setters on the defensive end as well. Deion knows that. He played with guys like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed at the end of his career. You need both. You need everything, really. You need more guys that you can trust, a rotational development of guys that you can trust to put out there on the offensive and defensive line. More depth at those. When Deion said he was 8 to 9 dogs away from being really good, that's what he meant. It's obvious that that's what he meant, because that would be 4 more on each side or 5 and 4.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. I didn't. It translates in practice. I don't say stuff just to say it for a click, contrary to what somebody say. But I keep receipts. But I'm serious. I analyze and I understand what we're up against and what we have and what we need. One thing that I could say honestly and candidly, you better get me right now. This is the worst we're gonna be. You better get me right now.
And you just gotta have it to compete with those teams. Now, do I think USC and Colorado, do I think Colorado wins that game? No, but I think they go on to play better, because there's a lot of people on the internet who was negative when I woke up from that nap. A lot of people that was negative saying like, oh, they needed this so they can change their culture and get like a culture shock and a wake-up call. And I don't agree with that. Again, I just don't, because I like what Deion is doing, to where I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to be an individual. I'm going to be prime, and the whole team's going to be prime-like, because that's what I want. We're winning in the way I see winning. I don't want coaches coming in and trying to be like somebody else. You're not going to do anything like somebody else. You're just not. And you can't be like somebody else when you're not. If that's who you is, that's who you is. And if that's who you want to portray yourself to be, that's what you're going to do as well. And Deion is that. His kids are that. His team is that. And just like in the game, he's going to have, just like in the game of play when he was a player, he's going to have a really good career doing that as a coach. But just like he did as a player, you're not going to win every single rep. You're not going to win every single game. You're not going to be a star all the time. Sometimes there's going to be somebody who just has your number that day, and you're still going to be really talented. But sometimes people are just going to have your number, and that's what we saw today. Oregon just had their number because they had it in their mind. I am going to line up. My guys are better than your guys, and I'm going to show you that through and through. Every single time, we're going to beat you down every single time. And Colorado's defense played as if they expected Oregon to lay down because, oh man, they're gonna lay down for us. And then sometimes as players, it's not the coach's fault. As players, you can get in your own way. When you start winning a lot and you already beating expectations, you start to come in with the confidence that you need, but you have to, again, relay that confidence into your play. And you have to be downhill with it. Shiloh is playing at the greatest level he's ever played at. To me, I feel like he's playing like a top 10 safety in college football. And that number is just going to continue to go up for him, like top 5, potentially by the end of the year. I think he's doing that. But I'm not impressed with the linebacker play for Colorado. I'm not impressed with the defensive line play. I'm not impressed with the offensive line play because in order for guys like Shiloh and Travis Hunter to play better on the defensive end, your offense and defensive line has to be playing better. And I say both, as well as your linebacker core. I say both because if your defensive line is controlling it and getting to the quarterback and making it hard for them to run the ball and throw the ball and do whatever they want to do, your defense is out there less. If your offensive line is playing really well, your defense is out there less. So if your offensive line is controlling the ball, controlling the game, you get more rest. That just makes sense. And then with this loss, you already see crazy things like this lady saying Oregon is standing up for all of us, making a stand for all of us.
You a racist? You a racist? You a racist?
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, I know what it means, but just asinine, just really asinine, honestly. And that's what they want. They want this to tear down Colorado because they don't want them to excel. I think this is just a moment where they got their ass whooped. They're looking in the mirror. They're realizing, I thought I was at this level, but I ain't at that level. What I thought I needed to be doing, I'm not doing. And I'm going to change that. Now, it doesn't change overnight. Like, again, it's not going to change in a week because they're about to play probably the hardest game they ever played right after this, but it's going to make them compete more. Again, do they win this game? I don't think so. But they're going to play better, way more competitive. I think in this game that they really, really compete. The Colorado State game was a hard game to come off from because it was so much high emotions, and the Henry Blackburn hit really set a tone for Colorado State to show that we're not playing around with you. And I'm okay with stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying I'm okay with the hit because it was late, but I'm okay with stuff like that to where I've been in enough football locker rooms, teams, and etc. to know that you're being told if we can get the best player out of the game, we got a chance to win. And Henry Blackburn, as a grown man, you out there, you competing, your adrenaline's flying. Everybody gonna be saying, oh, this, that, and the third. But again, you making decisions on a split second, and it's not gonna always be right. But that's football, and that's why Travis Hunter and Deion them said that. Like, did Shador probably think trying to poke Kamara in the eye was the right thing? No, but emotions is flying. You sometimes you're gonna make those type of mistakes. And it's not a mistake to where he killed the dude. So it's a recoverable mistake to where he probably like, okay, that's probably a little ding on my career, but he's trying to make a way. He's trying to get NFL scouts. He's trying to beat his hometown, like all those different things. And the guy played probably the best game of his life, that game. But then the karma of it is that, the game-winning play happened on him. So, stuff like that might happen, but I think he played well. I think he really showed people he can play, and I think the hit just was a bang bang play, and it just doesn't look like that to the real eye on screen, but in the game it was probably more so a bang bang play. But again, he still knew what he was doing. And then with that type of hit, I just would touch on the Micah and Nick Chubb's hit. I feel the same way. Bang, bang play. People might say, it was dirty or this, that, and the third. Like, oh, he was already up. Why would you hit his legs? Like, why wouldn't you hit his legs? It's Nick Chubb's. Where you going to hit him at? I'll wait. Like, okay, the linebacker was engaged with him. You expect one person to tackle Nick Chubb's. You in the seat. Go out there and be that one person to tackle Nick Chubb's every single time. It's not going to be fun, to go out there every single time and tackle that big dude like that every single time. Like, you want to hit people down low because where else you going to hit them? As a defensive player, where are you supposed to hit people? Now, can't hit them up high because you might get targeted. Can't hit them down low. So Micah just did what he felt like he needed to do to protect his goal line. And unfortunately for Nick Chubb, that happened. And I've been out there with someone who had that injury, same injury with Kurt Taylor, and his happened on the defensive end. That same type of injury happened with him on the defensive end. Sometimes stuff just wrong place, wrong time. But it doesn't make it dirty. It doesn't mean that he was intentionally trying to do it. You're just out there real time, grown men trying to feed their family in a bang bang sport, and it happened. So that's how I feel about it. And I like the game when it's more controversial, where people are playing hard. I like the game where coaches are not taking it easy on each other. I like the game when people are playing for something. Whether it's the NFL, college, high school, when you're playing for something, it brings the best out of you. And sometimes it can bring the worst out of you, but it brings the best out of you overall, to where the games that we're seeing are elevated because they mean something. And that's the game of football. That's how I like it. And like the Oregon coach decided not to want to pull his starters, even though I want to send a message to them. He's supposed to. He's supposed to want to beat Deion that bad that I want to send a message to him. And Deion is supposed to want to do the same thing. And when you go hard like that and you let the chips fall where they may, sometimes you're going to get the results you want. Sometimes you're not. But I think this is just going to be one of those moments for Deion and them where they really just realize the level of competition that they have. And once they see that, it's just going to be like when he was at Jackson State, where, okay, this is what the top level looks like down here. Okay, we're going to get to that. Okay, where they finding these defensive linemen at? Where they find these offensive linemen at? Okay, I know where to go. I know what to do. Okay, I know where they at. And he sees that, okay, that's important. Okay, I need that. I need this. I need that. The skill guys, they great. I'm going to find that. But I need this now. Okay, I got it. I got you. That's where I think they're at. And at practice now with the team that he currently have, okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, we need to do more of this now. We need to be doing this now. Like the defensive line coach, they see it. The offensive line coach, they see it. Okay, we need to be hitting the sled more, driving. Like we need to be nasty, dominating up front. We don't need to just be sitting back here trying to be punching bags to where the attack coming to us. No, we're going to bring it to you. And Colorado, I think they'll go on to establish a better run game and a better pass game from this. And their defense is going to have a more controlled attack at the line of scrimmage. But with that, just wanted to give my piece on it. Again, just waking up from that nap and wanted to just reflect on everything that I've seen. And I 100% stand still behind Colorado. And I think they're going to continue to shock people because that's what I'm all about. Shock people. Like, go out there and do something your way and make those people eat their words. And, again, I'm out of here. See ya.
Up and I shake the room.